Hey there Sanity Seekers, thank you for joining me. Today this video is hopefully going to help those with limited supplies and that need to make a chair for any size doll or bear. Recently I had a message from our friend Leah who has a largish witch that she would like to make a chair for, but she has limited supplies. So this video is for limited supplies. This is stuff that everyone's got and you can make these items to any size. So there's no excuses. Okay, Sanity Seeker, let's stop there. Go get your doll or your teddy bear and we'll measure it up together, okay? I'll wait for you. You're back? Excellent. Let's do it. Again, for you guys, these are the measurements that we're looking at, the areas that we're looking at to make this thing happen. It's not that hard. You got this. So we have some scrap cardboard from some cardboard boxes that are lying around or whatever it is that you can find, and we've got our doll or teddy bear, and that will give us an idea on the width of the butt and the height of the chair that we need. You don't even need to properly measure these things, just a guesstimate is fine. So I've got the width of the bum and we're measuring from the shoulder to the floor, and that gives us the back of the chair, and this is the most simple, easy chair I could think to make. We're going to measure from the back of the butt to the knee, and that'll give us how long we need the actual chair pad part, and we'll just mark that out. This will only be a score, so we don't have to re-glue it or anything, we just bend it. If you're not sure what a score is, it's where you cut the first layer of cardboard but don't cut all the way through to cut it. And then we measure from the knee to the floor, and that'll give us the other part of the chair. So we'll lop that off and we'll score this little dotted line that we have so we can bend it without cutting it all the way through. And that gives us a nice, simple kitchen chair. I'm going to put some supports in to make it nice and strong and keep the angles where I want them. Again, I'm not even properly measuring, I'm just putting it in place and then marking it. An easy way of making an exact replica is to lay it over the top of the other piece of cardboard and just cut it in the same spot. I've got some glue, a couple of things just to pop it in place for myself, and I will use a little bit of painter's tape or masking tape or sticky tape if that's what you've got, and just to hold it in place while it dries. The glue I'm using is just PVA, so basic. A couple of rubber bands or string if you don't have rubber bands, and that'll just hold it in place while it dries and gets nice and strong. And here we have the basic part of our kitchen chair. Now we're going to get a tiny bit fancier and make like a patio style chair. Wasn't sure what to call this because it could be in a corner of a lounge room or on the patio or possibly at a work desk. It's just a nice cute design. I've drawn out a pattern, worked out my size for the actual chair part, being the width of the butt and the width of the bum to the back, and cut out two of the pieces exactly the same just by laying one over the top of the other. I did make it too tall, which looked a bit funny. It looked like a high chair, but hey, you can use that design for a high chair. For a baby doll, that would be super cute. It's all dry. It's cut to a better height. Just keep checking with your doll or your teddy bear to make sure it fits and it looks good. And we'll move to a rocking chair. This one I did a little bit different because it's got a bit of a funky shape, so I just put my doll in the position I thought I wanted her for the chair and then basically traced it out. I'll go over it in black so you can see exactly what I've done. I found an appropriate sized lid or plate just to give myself the nice curve for the rocking part. And I'm tracing out my design so you guys can see what I've done. And we need 2 of those. The bit in the middle is the width of the butt. Just a nice long piece. I've marked out where I want the bend and I'll score it, not cut it. And just keep checking with your design. It's looking pretty good, so I'm going to glue that in place. I think with the processes of these, you could apply it to any kind of chair. You can make a crazy throne with this. Let's test it. Doesn't work. That's okay, because I have a plan. We need to put more weight on the front. Not a problem, right? Just glue that little guy straight in there. So I'm going to glue and give it a bit more weight at the front, and it makes it look better anyway, so that's cool. And then I thought I'd give it a little bit extra weight by putting a kind of footrest and more detail, and then that worked out pretty good. Rubber bands to let it dry, and it's nice and strong and ready to sit aside for the next stage. This is my favourite chair. I thought it was super cool. Very happy with it. Very funky. I want it in my lounge room for me. So with the doll's sizing, I found something round that was about the right size for her to sit on. I've cut out the circles and marked it at one spot. Roll it along and that'll give me the length. No measuring, no maths. It's fine. So I've got the height of the chair where I feel like I want it. I've got the length, which I measured out by rolling the circle along the thing. That is the line I put in there is where the top circle will be for the doll to sit on. And I feel like I want 2/3 of the chair to be the back of it. So it kind of encompasses the doll a little bit. So I've curved that out and I'm cutting it to shape. And then I will cut little scores all along it, and that will allow me to curve it beautifully. It'll also, I'm trying to keep it even because it'll give it like a wooden look, which is a bit funky and makes me happy. So we'll give it a bit of a curvy curl, and make it into a nice round barrel shape. Some glue where I want the seat, some glue for the bottom of the chair, which will keep its shape and strength and make it look good. So we'll just curl that around and pop a rubber band on. Fun thing is I cut it too short, but I have an easy fix. I will show you. We've got rubber band down the bottom there to hold that into place, and then we'll pop the top part of it in place and pop another rubber band on. And then we will fix up our little mistake. Super easy. We'll just cut out a little piece to fit, and I've just left a little bit of an overlap for it to glue secure to the other sides. So the tiny bit in the middle's kind of thick, and then there's thin bits that I've left on the side, and then we'll just cut off the bit that's hanging over. So easy. You may have noticed there's another circle sitting up there that is actually slightly smaller, or will be slightly smaller, and I'm going to turn that into a pad for her to sit on. Just keep testing it out. I'm happy with all of that. I love this chair so much. I want it. Now I'll move on to another way of making it, which you might enjoy. Basically, I'm cutting out the whole piece in one go and then just the chair pad. So I've got the middle and the sides, the wings of the chair, and just making sure that the back two legs are double the size of the front two legs, so that I can score it down the middle and make it look right. I'll mark out the chair in the center here, but I also want to angle it a little bit so it looks super comfy. So I've done 2 marks, one for the inner and one for the outer, just to make sure that it's nice and even, and angled it. Again, I haven't measured exactly because I'll keep testing it, and I'll just lop or add pieces if I have to. So I'll measure it up here, and we'll find that it's just overlapping by a little bit. So I'll mark that and cut it off. No dramas. And if it's too little, cut another piece. It's scrap cardboard. No drama. Just good feelings here, my friends. Nice. I like the angle. The angle works. And I could see that in a lounge chair, in a lounge room. It'd be nice as a statement piece. Or in a bedroom. Big fluffy pillows. Rubber band, let the glue dry, and we'll just give her a test, make sure the height's working good. And it's kind of comfy. I'm trying to make them a little bit roomy too, because I want pillows. Alright, next step. Let's cover it. Everyone's got toilet paper. I'm confident of this, and it's a good resource. Steal the toilet paper, grab some PVA glue. We'll do half glue, half water, and just make ourselves a little mixture. And we'll do like a decoupage style paper mache kind of deal, and just glue these pieces on. And I'm putting in a fair bit of texture for interest and to make it look a little more realistic. It'll be fun. You'll enjoy it. Trust me. Otherwise, I would probably skip this step altogether and just paint it or whatever. But, yeah, let's colour it. Again, I want to go for things that we all have. Tea, coffee. Coffee. So good. Paint. Some pencils and textures and makeup. That's makeup. I'm a face painter too, so it's the same diff. Pretty basic. I've got some black paint and I'm going to paint it. It's not rocket science, this one. But I guess if I was going to give any advice, just, go all the angles and get it in all the little crooks and crannies. This is tea. I just made a nice strong tea and then let it cool. I had to be careful just to dab it on, not wipe it too much, otherwise it'll pull off what I've already done underneath. Looking good. Okay, here's our experimental piece. I wanted to try the pencils, and they're not fancy pencils, they're just pencils that you could steal from your kid. And it looks dreadful. Let's be honest. So I thought we'll try some textures. Again, looked dreadful and it started to pull it up, so that was way fun. So, what I did was I got some PVA glue and I used the coffee, part because I was lazy and didn't want to go get water, and partly because I wanted to see how it looked. And I glued a whole heap of wrapping paper. It's actually Christmas paper. And decoupaged that over the piece and just did lots of layers of glue as I went and made it all pretty and funky. And it looked great. I was really pleased with that, and it is a process I wanted to try as well. But the sides look crappy and I'm not going to decoupage that, so I just painted it. But with a bit of forethought, you could use paint or coffee or tea or whatever you want. Or you could decoupage it. And that looks very cool. I did go over it a little bit and dab it with some paint just to make it a little more realistic. And then I thought, hey, let's play with this gold eyeshadow. So I put a bit of that over it too, and it brought up all the crinkles and that and made it kind of look funky and leathery. Now for my favourite barrel chair. Of course we need to use coffee because coffee is also my favourite. And again, I had to dab it, not wipe it. So we're just colouring it, we're not kind of painting it on, if you know what I mean. But it was so effective, I loved it. And the tea was more effective than I expected too, so that was pretty cool. So just dab it all around and let it soak in and let it dry. And that will give us a beautiful colour, and also brought through, I think, a bit more of the wood style details in the background. Here's our little lounge chair, and I thought I'd use the makeup. I did play around with a few different makeups, as you'll see, but it was fun, and it was actually much more effective than I thought it would be. And basically I just coloured and rubbed, and I kind of found that my finger was probably the best tool, more than trying to use the little makeup applicator there. And I layered and I played. There's a multicoloured bit there that I kind of ended up covering up a little bit, but I just wanted to try it and see what it did. The gold over the top I thought was a very cool touch, and I did go over it again with some glue which kind of smooshed out the colour a little bit and made it look even better. So now we're up for the details. This is where the fun is. Very simple. I made pillows, bits of scrap material that I had lying around, and I used cotton balls, but you might use more toilet paper or a bit more scrap fabric or threads or rubbish. It doesn't matter what you put in there because it's a doll, it's not going to care. And you kind of make it floofy and dent it a bit, and then it just looks like a very comfy, happy pillow to sit on. And look at those details. How cool is the leather look? I love it. Very modern. It's not glued down, it's just sort of stuck to the ridges. I'm not mad about it. And neither is she. So, let's play with our little patio chair. Again, I've got some fabric. I'm going to glue two sides, leave one side open. Make sure you get the good side of the fabric on the inside so we can turn it inside out. I hope that made sense. I'm going to match up some fabric to go with my pillow and layer up some toilet paper again and make a padded seat cover. So we'll just glue this all over and make sure it's all good to go, and then we'll pop that on the chair. So I've got the cardboard, toilet paper or whatever it is that you decide to pad it out with, and a bit of fabric. And if you don't have fabric, have a look around for paper. Even newspaper would actually look very cool, very modern, especially if you went over it with some glue. So it's glued in place, it's dry, I've got my little pillows, and that I could totally see myself out having a coffee, reading a book on the patio. Again, go through your fabrics and let's play with the next chair. I didn't have a lot of fabric to pull from, so I just have a very tiny stash for my miniatures. So glue both sides again, fold it over and let it dry. My idea for this video was just to use stuff that you have around the house. I don't want you to go buy anything you don't have to, and I don't want you to not create because you haven't got something. I think we all like playing with the new things and the toys and whatever it was that we bought, and that's cool, and I'm all for that. But sometimes you just got to use what you got. So it's all dry. I'm going to take my clippy off, and I feel like that's enough detail probably for that one. Do you like squishing the pillows down? Makes it more realistic or something. Bit of pillow swappage there, or adage. She's happy with it. Look at that smile. Alright, now for our little lounge chair. I covered a couple of pieces of cardboard with some decoupage, just the Christmas paper that I had earlier, and made myself a couple of pillows. Just sit that side to dry. I've got everything held in place with some rubber bands while it dries. And after it's dry, squish it into place and call it done. Test her out. And my favourite barrel chair, I've got some fancy, this is some kind of pleather or something that I had, very pretty. I've got my circle that fits in the chair that I have cut out, and some padding with some toilet paper underneath, and I've just cut all around the material, and I'm going to fold that into place and hold them with clips while it dries. If you don't have clips, you can always use pegs, paper clips even, rubber bands, string. These are easy though, they're great. So I'll sit that aside to dry. I like how it looks poofy. And we've made some pillows, and we'll let that dry and glue it into place on our funky barrel chair. I love the colours. We'll make our little pillows by stuffing it with cotton bud or fabric or whatever it is that you have, and squish them into place and make it look very comfy. And that is the details done for our barrel chair. Our lovely Leah did also ask about a side table, so if you're interested in learning that or anything else for that matter, please comment below and let me know, and I will do my utmost to help, because that's just the nice person I am. So we have our cool chair, we have our cool chairs, lots of styles, Make it any size for any doll, and it's good. So again, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.